Buck roll.
How's it going, everybody? It's Man Tomorrow here. Thank you guys for coming through on this morning. I was going to be able to do something last night, but last week or even 2 weeks ago, I was in Tremonton. What is that? Utah. I was in a Love's. They was looking at my AC on my actual truck. I was sitting there in the actual food court on my laptop, and I had like this big ass cup of like water beside my laptop, and they had like this wild ass kid just jumping from booth to booth. I'm talking about from booth to booth, and this kid turned over a whole gallon of water on my laptop, a $3,000 laptop. Absolutely nothing I could do about it. So I was about to send it in to MSI because that's who that laptop proprietor was. And for some reason, after a couple of days, it just came back on. So I put everything on the desktop that I wanted so that way it could be uploaded to the cloud. And then a couple of days later, that shit just went out and it never came back on. So I had to send that laptop to MSI. I bought another laptop. It's a $4,000 laptop that I got for like 1,300 bucks off Amazon during its Prime sale. So I'm on my phone, so I can't, I can invite people to the forum, but I can't pull up articles or any of that other stuff unless someone else does it. So that's where we're at right now. So what you have to understand is people think that being in the way is progress and stopping progress is their job. Maintaining the current system here is their job. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no such things as black rights. None. There is no such like the most dangerous thing to this democracy is people thinking that the rights stop at their people. Incredibly untrue. I'm going to give you several examples of how stupid this thinking is. The rights don't stop at you. 14th Amendment for black people. Every idiot that you, oh, well, it was just meant for black people. No, it was meant for people in that circumstance. Again, this is eighth grade politics and government. And I know at my high school, if they taught it in Mississippi, I know your high school taught it as well. There's no real reason to keep having remedial conversations about American things here. The only thing you literally had to do here in America versus everywhere else, you have the ability to get training, and you have the ability to make money, and you have the ability to buy property, and you have the ability to separate. And you also have the free ability to choose a mate that actually respects those types of values as well. Most people in other countries, they don't have the right to vote. They don't have the right to pick which political party that they're part of. They don't have the right to just go get training and move up in society. Most people don't have those rights. Like me, I was born in the Mississippi Delta. All right. Probably one of the worst places in the country to be born at. As a start, one of the worst places to be born at. Now, my father and grandfather could actually survive in there because it didn't take a lot of money to raise a family, didn't take a lot of money to do anything. If I'm leaving high school in the 90s and my father was barely able, even as a over the road truck driver there, to maintain our household and be home, for, a pretty good period of time. He was a diesel mechanic outside of that. What's going on, Keith Smith? What's going on, Mr. Foster, Cedric Webb, K. Diggy, Stephen Bishop? So at some point, you got to move. Some areas are good for some things, but at some point, you have to move. You have to move up. You have to move around. These are things that you have to do. But see, right now we have the online, I would call it movement, to actually replace masculine men with these culture warriors. The culture warriors who want to sit around and troll women, the culture warriors who want to like dumb nigga ask me anything. Then they go back to trolling women, to complaining about feminists, to doing all this other stupid shit. Literally, BGS is a product of the gynocracy. He has his position because of the fucking gynocracy. And then he tries to warn people about the gynocracy as a threat when he's the fucking threat. He's the threat to progress. Hiding behind ignorant ass fucking men who can barely talk and fucking speak, and giving these idiots self esteem and the ability to think that they're part of a conversation is a problem. Say it again. Say it again, Miss Foster. Why would they want you to think that sitting around and being a fucking idiot is somehow something that you're supposed to aspire to, right? Idiocy then lapped the planet so many times before common sense is actually fucking heard. Giving weak men the ability to complain about women that they're not interested in is a bad idea. Let's go back to the supremacist piece. All supremacists weaken the fucking country, especially the white ones, definitely the black ones. The Latin based ones are coming online right now in our faces, but that's their choice to do that. So I'm gonna go from the people who are actually least represented in society, and then I'm gonna go to the people who are most represented in society. Right? Let's go with the Asians. They're probably the smallest group. Right? Asians. Asian supremacists don't make any sense to me. You're the smallest group. You really don't have much political power. But in place of needing political power, they're mostly productive. That's the way their society and their culture is set up for the most part. Because I know in Denver, most of them live over there near the Chinese Man Theater on the other side, way on the west side of Denver. And for their non-productive kids, they go pay for them an apartment in Aurora or Denver or some black community somewhere, and they put all of their non-productive kids in a household, and they just give them a car, make sure that they got shit to eat, and they move them all the way the hell away from productive people in society. That's how the Asians handle their unproductive people in society. They put them all in the same household. They make sure that they got shit to eat. Just move them out to other places in the actual city of Aurora or Denver who don't give a shit about who actually lives there. Now, the culture is pretty insular, right? You're not getting access to women if you ain't got your shit together. No person would allow that shit. And if they do, you'll just be one of these Asian women who actually have to not live in the Asian community. You want to be an Asian woman and you want to be with an ain't shit black or white dude? Guess where you're not doing that shit at? You're not doing that shit around them Asian people. You're gonna have to get the. You're gonna have to not be around there. So that's how they handle things there. And yes, they do know a lot about the country and all that kind of stuff. So there's no such thing as really an Asian supremacist, except for just within maintaining their culture within. They do participate in the political process. They participate as a group in the political process. And the people who don't participate in the process are the people who they've already moved out. And it doesn't matter because these people have houses that are passed down for generations. They're already productive. They can just go buy more property and have insular households. What's going on, Quincy Prince? Let's go for the Latin based people. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to loop, I have to loop them all into one kind of place because if you pretty much speak Spanish, you're going to be treated the same way. At least in the Denver metro area. I'm talking for the Denver metro area only. When you first get here, you do have a bed. You do have a place to stay in people's houses. Most likely people who own businesses, and your ass will, like the lowest of the low is the people who work in the kitchen, obviously. The people who don't own restaurants but work in the kitchen, and that's all they aspire to. The only thing they want is their Modelo or they motherfucker Corona 6 pack at the end of the day, and they're pretty much good. But you have to work and be part of a group in order to make sure that that shit happens. Now, there's a lot of skilled labor from the Latin sector, an incredible amount of skilled labor. You can't get anything done that is diesel mechanic wise, that is mobile unit wise, for a fair and a reasonable price outside the Latin community. Now, I was about to buy a truck in Denver. Well, actually, Aurora. It's at the UNFI in Aurora. And I wasn't going to buy the truck because the check engine light was on the truck. And they wanted to send somebody out to look at it. But I don't want any of those type of people looking at this type of engine. I want Cummins Sales and Service to come look at this type of engine. I want the Cummins Sales and Service equivalent to look at this type of engine. You know, X15 Cummins, that's my favorite engine for right now. What's going on, Mom Perry? So, in order to send somebody out from Cummins Sales and Service or McCandless Truck Service in Aurora, that shit's going to cost you $1,500 to drive 5 miles down the road to come look at that engine. The great thing is, you're going to find out exactly what's wrong with the truck from the dominant society shops. And Cummins have two different types of service that not everybody has access to when it comes to the computer work that needs to be hooked up to the truck. However, if you don't need that specified level of service, you can get a Latin-based person to drive up to where you are, whether it's a truck, whether it's a hotel, 24 hours a day, rain, shine, sleet, or snow, for about $150 an hour. If you don't need that directly specialized service. 20 years ago, it was nothing like this. All these most dominant society shops were 8 to 5 shops. Be there at 8, leave at 5. But then the Latin based community came in as a strategy to learn everything about every type of truck. And it's not just Cummins that they do it for. They do it for Freightliners, they do it for Max, they do it for Kenworth, they do it for Pete's, they do it for everything. But as a group, they decided that we're going to take over this portion of this skilled labor. Now, I'm not even going into the construction aspect because you know they run the construction piece from stem to stern. They do that. But then again, as a Latin based person, you're either working in a kitchen or you're going to be skilled labor. There is no sit around and expect access to women portion in the Latin based community. They don't have that. They don't have no Latin manosphere where a bunch of dudes are complaining about women choosing what they choose. You don't have that shit. You don't have it. You clearly don't have it. Again, for those who participate in the political process, because not all of them are citizens, obviously, and Denver is a sanctuary city, which means we bring people here to work. Crime's really not all that high, even though they try to overshadow it like it is. Whenever a Latin-based person do something versus someone else who does crime. Here's the thing: no one wants to be a victim of crime, no matter what the percentage is. Within a homogenous community, you're going to have a lot of crime. Not a lot of it's going to be reported, but there's crime there nonetheless. Again, those personnel who you see talk all that crazy shit about trying to separate from the Latin-based people, those people don't live nowhere near the Latin community. Those people moved out of their community years ago or generations ago, and they're not around now. These talking heads that you see, those people like their coons are not allowed to exist and live amongst them. Their coons are not even allowed to do that. And normally those people got to walk around with security everywhere they go outside the house because they own site they coons. On site. They own site they coons. So when a Latin based person is actually trying to talk against following the rules and all this kind of other stuff, do you talking about people who genocided their way across the United States? And you're gonna sit your dumb ass up there and try to talk about rules. Rules. You mean like the Bill of Rights? Those rules, like the 3/5 of a person in the fucking Constitution? You mean like those rules? You mean like all men are created equal? You mean like those rules? Dude, the only thing that matters is the judiciary. And once you lobby for one group of people to be treated one way and another group of people to be treated the next, you remove rights from everyone. Let's move up to the black supremacists, the black inferiority majors. The black people who don't vote, the black people who live in these highly liberal areas, the black people who don't pick a side, the black people who's name it, independent, moderate, fucking third party, libertarian, but live in a liberal area. So they know the difference between living in a liberal area and a conservative area. They think that they have more power and position by not picking a side. But what you don't understand is if you expect progress, you're going to have a roadmap on how to get progress, which means you're going to have to pick a side. And you can't pick this 1% of whatever, or you can pick this 1% of whatever party when it comes to the total number, but you better be participating in these primaries if the primaries are open within the state to where you're at. So within Black America, the silent generation fought and got concessions from the government. The Boomer generation fought and got concessions from the government. My generation, Generation X, I don't think we fought for shit. Even though I participated in the process every single time because I expect for shit to work, like when it snows in Aurora, I want that snow to fuck off the ground. Pronto. When there's a blizzard that comes through, I expect for that shit to be cleaned up. Pronto. There is no Texas based, well, we're just going to shut down the roads and let God clear it out with the sun. Nah, there ain't none of that shit. If Pittsburgh can get this snow off the ground, if New York can get this snow off the ground, if Boston can get this fucking snow off the ground, then so can Colorado. No excuses. But see, people want to depend on the government on an a la carte basis. And they're okay with the government not really existing until they need it. But you have to understand that the complaints about government are solved with the political process. The complaints about the government is too late to address once the election is over and once these conservatives start removing portions of society that they want to make it look like it's one group of people, but they're really taking it from all you dudes. Like when Doge, the, the Department of Government Efficiency, formed, they formed it to remove shit that people use. They formed it to remove things that small farmers use. They did not form the Department of Government Efficiency to remove money from the Defense Department. They did not form the Doge Committee to not sell the actual medication that we pay for research for to give to corporate America for the free so that way they could turn around and charge us billions of dollars for shit that we actually did the research for and paid for. Those didn't solve those issues. Those remove shit from people that people use. Because an efficient government, businesses hate an efficient government. They really do. In efficient government, shit works. Justice is pretty simple. If we're so fucking free, why do we graduate so many attorneys across the country in multiple different facets of American society if we're so fucking free? That's because more rights are being lost because of the idea of this two-tone society rather than understanding that equal protection under the law protects everybody equally. Just because I don't like most of these people, right? So y'all should have been here when like the Trader MBD and Mr. Fantastic and who the fuck was that? Supreme King Coon, the Hood Conservative, like when these people was getting shot by the police, and I'm talking about Ahmaud Arbery for one. and George Floyd for second. These people don't understand that if you allowed Derek Chauvin to get away with choking that dude out and killing him, we all would have lost rights there. No matter what color you were, there would be another thing police can just get away with. Ahmaud Arbery was a little bit different because that guy clearly would have been brought up on charges if it wasn't for the district attorney that was stopping the investigation into the actual shooting of Ahmaud Arbery. And that's a different level of ex law enforcement people that are able to murder with absolute impunity in small town America, which happens a hell of a lot more than you can imagine. If you're ex law enforcement, you are given a pass. And if you know the district attorney, which is how most of this shit works, or how the investigations get started, you remove rights from everybody to protect one person in one specific circumstance. Let's go back into an even further case. Emmett Till. For all these people who want this two-tone justice system, right? Emmett Till. Emmett Till was obviously murdered by three white supremacists. They went to trial, presented their trial. They let these people go. I think it was less than, I think, 3 or 4 hours, and they found these people not guilty. Now, the federal government did not turn around and charge these people with civil rights violations, which they would have got an actual conviction for, because they did violate Emmett Till's civil rights, right? The same way that Ahmaud Arbery and those dudes who did that was still brought up on actual civil rights charges after that case is over with. And they was found guilty. No question about them being found guilty. Just like George Floyd. After he was found guilty, the feds came in and brought civil rights charges against that guy, Derek Chauvin. If they had did the same thing with Emmett Till, those people would have went to prison, to include the lady who lied about how she was whistled at or whatever. See what I'm saying? Like, listen, whites may have thought that they got away with some shit in those cases, but you remove rights from the entire group when you allow bullshit like that to go on. Do we have to go back to Rodney King? That shit was on tape. On tape. You're supposed to be a professional. Look, I was an MP in the actual Air Force. If your ass is shown on tape acting unprofessional, it wouldn't even took a tape. Everybody would have turned your ass in. Because ain't nobody about to go to prison forever. Because in the military, if you are a cop, you get max time, no matter what it is, because your ass should know better. There's no way in the world that the people of America won anything by those police officers going free and going back to patrolling the fucking streets after they did that to Rodney King. You don't get anything out of that. You lose rights out of that. While we're here, let's talk about O.J. Simpson. If you don't understand it, if you plant more evidence than that's there, clearly, you have to throw all the evidence out. That's the rules of evidence. Rather than understanding this simplistic thing They did this shit anyway. Now, in most of these circumstances and cases, they had very competent DAs, very competent defense attorneys, very competent people to fight for them and to present the cases a certain type of way. All lawyers are not created equal, not by a long shot. It depends on billable hours, like what they do per hour. Again, the deliberate misunderstanding of all rights or any rights in society is a net loss for everyone in society, and it always have been. It was okay when they could eminent domain and take your land away from you and offer you whatever the fuck they wanted to offer you for your land to build highways and whatever. People were cool and okay with that until they start eminent domain and come in and take your land away from you under the same circumstances where you have no choice in the matter. Where the judiciary can just decide that you're not going to get any justice. That's why the judiciary is far more important than the president, far more important than a local congressperson, far more important than a mayor, far more important than anything. You want to know why? They get to sit on the bench for a very long time and they get to dispense justice in a way that they cannot be countered. But this is what I mean by not understanding things in society. Like putting something as important as reparations for black people into the hands of culture warriors that don't fucking vote. How do you have Tariq Nasheed or Jason Black or who is this fucking dude's name? Phil Scott making a living off the collective ignorance of black people not understanding how basic America fucking works. Knowing how, okay, all right, let's go to the Native Americans who's been fighting their actual reparation shit outside of the actual reservations nonsense for over like 150 years. There's a court case that decided that they should get 3/4 of Oklahoma. They're still fighting that case. And they're fighting it with attorneys and they're fighting it with lawyers. They're fighting it and they still haven't been done. They did not depend on the culture warriors within their group to do anything. They're fighting it the proper way and it's taking forever. How is just riling people up to think that they're owed a check is going to get you reparations? Reparations is a process. But these people have mind fucked themselves into thinking that expecting a check, complaining about shit, listening to culture warriors, and not participating in the process is somehow going to get you this money. Umar Johnson. Dude, the list never ends of how many blidiots that just pop up out of nowhere and collectively direct and diverge black people's deliberate ignorance of the process around in circles. You know what? You need these people out here though. Dude, listen, you need the Tariq's out here. You need the real Dana's out here. You need fucking Jason Black out here. You need BGS out here. You need them out here. So that way you can see just how stupid people really are beneath the surface. I don't even bother talking to them because there's nothing to talk about. Because when somebody doesn't have an understanding of the issues to which they want to argue about, it is nearly impossible for you to actually argue with that person and come to an actual conclusion. Because they haven't even done the primary work that is required to have an argument nor a counter argument. So you have to shelter both sides of the argument, their specific point and your point. And then you look crazy as fuck because you're arguing against yourself. You need people who are stupid enough to listen to BGS out here. You need that shit. You need that shit. You need people who were neglected from black society to think they're old shit from the same women that don't want to fuck with them in black society. You need to see these fucking idiots. You need to see them. Listen. You need to fucking you need to see how stupid these fucking people are. Never say that you don't want to see these people because you have to know how dumb these motherfuckers are. Now, this level of ignorance is easily solvable. By the way, it's easily solvable by knowing what the fuck is going on currently, knowing what happened, the history, and participating in the process every time that there's a particular play to be actually participated in the process. For as stupid as these fucking people think they are, the child support issue is something that I don't like talking about. But it is a pretty good indicator of groups not working together. Nobody pays more child support than white dudes in this fucking country. Nobody. Per group? Per capita per group? Amount per capita per group. White dudes pay a lot of fucking money in child support and child custody issues and having their children be fucked up by these women that they chose. Is the dominant based society trying to correct that system? No, they're not trying to correct it because they're perceived through the pain that they feel through it. Other people are feeling even more pain through it, right? So if you can't work together on something as simple as trying to create a better generation of kids by you being able to control your fucking family, how can you be able to work together on any issue outside of that? How is that power? Where you deliberately want to see your kids in the hands of women that you clearly don't want to see hands in. And you're willing to want to hurt other fucking group of people just so that way your kids can stay in a situation that they can stay in. You see how it doesn't make sense from a white perspective for something like that to happen? Now, why don't you cascade this level of fucking idiocy across the entire group? Like not understanding the 14th Amendment. Like if there's a person who's born in this country from another country, how the fuck is that going to affect you when you already here? If you're already maximizing all of the actual things that you need to maximize in American society, how the fuck is that going to hurt you by a person being born here as a child? How does that hurt you? Oh, well, we need to stop this stuff in black people. Like, dude, you don't understand. It's the circumstances, not the people. And yeah, they're going to be gearing up to try to kick all these people out the country eventually. That's what they're that, that's what that money being appropriated by the actual Homeland Security is about. So that way you can let, Northern Iceland Barbie, the fucking direct all these Proud Boys and all these white supremacists who's in these masks, by the way, because federal agents don't need to be in masks unless there's people that you shouldn't be hiring in the first place. Dude, like the feds don't need to walk around with a mask on. You don't see the Secret Service walking around with a mask on. You don't see the FBI walking around with a mask on. You don't see people who work for the CIA walking around with a mask on. But somehow, people who's rounding up these immigrants need to walk around with a mask on. That's some shit that don't need to be happening, man. But people think that the government is just going to stop abusing power in that specific circumstances just when it comes to immigrants. You are incorrect, sir. They can come behind masks and they can do that shit to everyone now. Yeah, they can do that shit to everyone now. Remember when even though I'm close to this case, that's why I never really talked about it. Let's just call it the case in Louisville, Kentucky, where the police walked into a house, shot this young woman, and once it was over with, you had the same SKC, Mr. Fantastic, Hood Conservative, and Trader NBD try to justify government overreach in that area. First thing they did, they do what these white supremacists always do. They try this post hoc rationalization bullshit. Let's look up things from this person's past and let's just talk about that versus the action that actually happened to this person. Right? How do you get something out of the government being able to walk into somebody's house on a no knock raid and killing somebody in that fucking house? Okay, so you want people to have the Second Amendment, to have these fucking pocket tanks and fucking rocket launchers inside their fucking house after you scare the shit out of these fucking cowards, right? Then you have the police who get to sneak into your place like they are a fucking robber to come inside your place armed, unannounced, asking for shit. How do you have both of those things at the same time? That no knock warrant bullshit was the shit that was came up with during the actual war on, supposed war on drugs, which removed a lot of the actual search and seizure rights away from everybody. But dominant white America was okay with that shit happening as long as that shit wasn't happening to them. Let's fast forward 30 years later. When you see a white family outside of their fucking vehicle being pulled over by the highway patrol and they're pulling all of their shit out of their fucking car, knowing full well a white family ain't really into drugs like that. Knowing full fucking well an older white man and an older white woman is not into drugs like that. Why the fuck are you doing a drug search on normal fucking civilians? You wanna know why? They were fucking okay with it and ignored the shit happening when it was happening to black people. It was wrong then, it's wrong now. And you had the same conservative dumb niggas in this space okaying for the no for the actual stop and frisk shit in New York. The same dumb niggas in this space was actually saying that it's okay to stop and frisk black people when they're black themselves. Now, most of these people didn't live in New York, by the way. They still live in liberal areas, but not New York. This is what I mean by not being a qualified citizen of the country which your ass live in. I get it. It's easier to World War III and chill and go listen to Ty City with his fifth grade education sounding ass. I know that's easier than learning the shit in the actual country so that way you don't have to need dumb niggas support. You don't have to need a dumb nigga filter on society. You don't fucking need it. The only thing you got to do is learn this fucking shit and team up with other people and fix this shit. It's so easy. It's not hard. I get it. You can't listen to anything unless hoes are being trolled. You can't listen to anything unless you're talking about somebody's child support issue. I know you're so fucking dumb. You can't listen to anything unless there has to be a dumb nigga perspective or some fake dumb street nigga's perspective when it comes to shit. I know you're that fucking stupid. I get it. But at some point, you're going to listen to shit be done worse. You're going to be a victim of this shit that you are letting happen. And that was years later. Years later. Listen, I know Louisville, Kentucky very well. Let me tell you, that is one of the most corrupt cities that large I have ever fucking witnessed. And I delivered to the actual Budweiser there a lot. The shit that I've seen just being a casual observer, delivering there for about 15 fucking years is outrageous. I've seen the police jump out of the car, beat the shit out of somebody, jump back in their car and drive the fuck off. Louisville, Kentucky. I've also seen a bunch of niggas drag police out of the car, beat the shit out of the police, and jump back in their car and drive the fuck off. So I've seen both of those things in that city. We're not even talking about the first 48 shit that goes on the west side, but it just goes to show you if you don't want to be a citizen of this country, then why the fuck do you live here? Why the fuck do you want to live in liberal fucking areas and not participate in the process to make shit better? You complain about these women, but you put kids into the same fucking women, right? So now you got a bunch of dumb, useless niggas who come online, who get large platforms, even though they're failed men in their own right, getting a bunch of dumb, inexperienced niggas to listen to them about issues neither one of these fucking idiots want to fucking solve. And here's the thing, they still have their mouths open about the same fucking issue that they're not even trying to solve. And man, being a dumb nigga, it's just not. Yep, yep. You know where it's at. Yep. Big ass facility. Yep. If not that, I take mail from the post office to there on my way to 3 stops in St. Louis. Did I pick up from the East Coast? Again, there's no such thing as black rights. There's no such things as white rights. There's no such things as Latin rights and all this kind of other shit. Because if the Native Americans is no fucking clear indication that they are betting that you're going to have less and less rights over time. Based on these people who claim that they're so fucking American, waving these Chinese made motherfucking American flags, while they deliberately misunderstand basic shit about American society in the same country that they claim that they fucking run. right? They let a rich grifter come in and take away their health care away from them. See, people think that Affordable Care Act starts at fucking that's where white health care started at. No, 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 no. White health care started at Medicaid. Yeah, yeah, that's white, aka white health care. And your black ass wasn't involved in that shit when it first started either. Neither was Social Security. Your ass wasn't fucking included that shit when that shit first started either. Again, there's one pot of rights. And every time you poke a hole in this pot that has the rights, which are your water in it, you keep losing more and more rights to do shit. Just because you want to see immigrants be punished by faceless fucking federal agents. Just because you want to see black people be shot by the fucking police and get away with it with absolute fucking impunity. Like that shit's not gonna actually happen to you. There's a well-known case in Las Vegas. Well-known case. I was gonna show it, but every time I even try to clip it a little bit, it flags my fucking channel. Well, not flag it, but it put like an alert on it or some shit. Where this white guy was given conflicting commands by the police, and the police had out AR-15s and they shot this fucking kid 10 times at almost point blank range with a fucking M16. No punishment. The shit was on tape. No punishment. No punishment. Oh wow. I guess I I guess they didn't want me putting a link to it in the chat either. I guess I can't put a link to it. No, no, no. It was Las Vegas. I tried to put a link to the video, but YouTube blocked me from the link to the video. So just Google the actual case, and it'll send you to the because the video is on YouTube, but they don't want me sending you a link to the actual video. I guess. So that's what it is. There's no real reason to deliberately misunderstand things in society, right? Especially when you're dumb enough to tune into multiple slave drafts, multiple slave auctions that you watch every single fucking year when it comes to the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA. You can keep up with them slave auctions every fucking year. You know the exact slave that was actually fucking drafted to go work for which fucking plantation master. You know all that. You know every member of every championship team by year. But when it comes for you to know things that actually fucking affect you, you think that you're more of an American citizen by not fucking participating than knowing what the fuck is going on in the country to which you fucking live. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Yes, there was a time where people had to work together. You think that 40-hour work week that just fell out of the sky? You think them child labor laws, which the conservative movement is trying to bring back, by the way, and they have in several different aspects, you think that stuff just fall out of the sky? No. People had to work together to institute that. But the problem is that you have a bunch of non-productive, non-producing people who want to run the American conversation, especially the Black American conversation. Again, you ain't gotta like these motherfuckers. You ain't gotta like them. But I can guarantee you this: there is shit that you can actually fix that you can agree with. Well, I don't like what these motherfuckers do. I got plenty of white supremacists that I fucking talk to. I don't like what the fuck they do, but there are things that we can fucking work together on. It's not going to solve their initial fucking issue, but at the end of the day, they do see shit is wrong too. You can easily produce your way past these motherfucking supremacists. The only thing you can't produce your way past is the fucking judiciary. That's the most powerful force in this fucking country, the judiciary. And the judiciary is in the hands of people who want to know that they can't win elections. So now everybody is on a mad dash to redistrict their fucking states because they can't win elections. And the people that's gonna help them do that shit is the actual judiciary. But if you don't participate in the process and you don't know what the fuck's going on, how can you even fight? And things progressively getting worse is what these people want. It's what the fed men want. It's what the supremacists want. They want to watch things get progressively worse, and then they want to turn around and point toward another group of people like they doing it. Now watch. As soon as these Medicaid cuts hit, you're gonna have whites pointing at Latinos. You're gonna have Latinos pointing at whites. You're gonna have whites pointing at this shit. But when the only thing you had to do was just learn the history of the country. Yes, they sure did. Lowered it to 18 for getting a CDL. Yes, they did. I don't know how you're gonna be able to use it because all the actual containers are in Louisiana. I mean, not Louisiana, but they do have them too. In Memphis, and they have that actual waste station as soon as you cross that bridge from fucking Memphis to fucking Arkansas. So I don't. There ain't no inner CDL jobs in Arkansas that has anything to do with but taking your ass to fucking Tennessee. But that it is right. It is there. This is what I mean, man, bro. You can talk about real shit all the time. But what happens when you're not even trying to solve basic problems in society, which is your job as a fucking man? That's your fucking job as a man. Solve problems in society. That's your motherfucking job. What's the deal when you don't want to solve basic problems in society? You're just okay with having bad outcomes and spreading fucking apathy amongst the fucking group. What does that say about men in society? Because you got these dumb man and spirit niggas who's doing it over here. You got the whites who's doing it over there. The Latin based people are coming online so that way they can start doing it. That shit is really not even acceptable in the Native American community. That's all it is. What do you get out of consistently watching things get worse? What do you get out of it? What do you get out of it? I'm telling you, man, these people are ignorant and fucking proud of it. They're proud non-participators. Proud of it. They're proud of that shit. They proud to deliberately watch things get worse and want to blame other people for it. Dude, they proud of shit of that. They proud to do dumb nigga content. They proud to stir the fucking pot. They're proud to mislead you from one form to another. They proud to talk about politics when they're libertarians or don't pick a fucking side. Dude, they proud. They proud to fucking stagnate the fucking shit. They proud to draw the attention away of this shit. They're proud of that shit. They are fucking proud of it. They sleep on a nice, comfortable bed of dumb ass niggas. And that's just here. Yeah, my email is in the it's in the contact section. But I'll put it here too. Listen, y'all got to be able to correct y'all society and system where you at. I get tired of these people who live in these southern fucking states complaining about how shit is in big liberal fucking areas. That shit don't make no motherfucking sense. If you live in the South, you can't even produce a fucking congressman, but you got the nerve to open your motherfucking mouth and point to like a California or a New York or fucking liberal areas in motherfucking Texas and talk about how they shit ain't working when you live in the fucking South, the fucking South. And I'm from Mississippi. I know how fucked up the South is. Listen, you can produce your way past this shit. Please get your shit together. Please move to another area where shit works. I remember when I wasn't really over the road like this. This is like before I even went into trucking when I was still in the IT. How I took people from the Mississippi Delta and I took them to fucking Denver, and them motherfuckers' head was wide the fuck open. They couldn't believe that you can pay money to get on a bus and travel 20 fucking miles for $5. That shit was mind blowing to niggas. They couldn't believe that there was so many fucking jobs that you could just walk your ass into a place and be hired on the spot. This is some shit people never seen, witnessed, or understood in Mississippi. Like, okay, I took a person who was making like $10 an hour welding. This motherfucker was good as fuck welding. Hey, brought him out here to Denver. This dude was making $70 an hour. That dude nearly had a heart attack when he looked at his fucking check. That dude was scared to cash his own fucking check because he thought he was doing something fucking wrong because he was getting paid $10 an hour his whole life for fucking welding, and these motherfuckers wanted to pay him significantly more. Living in these fucked up areas is going to give you some fucked up values. Neglect breeds bad values. Like these dumb niggas online who think that, oh man, if I just would have had sexual access to a fucking red dude, my life would be great. No, dumb nigga. It's not even great for the niggas who claim that they got all the ass. These are the niggas suffering the consequences right now. Raising kids that they don't like, being with a bitch that they don't fucking want. That's what success look like to you, dumb nigga? These niggas ain't winning. They win. They listen, man. They hope to God that they could have never been fucking guided into that shit. Now they stuck there. Got to pretend like nothing is fucking wrong. Yes, most of this shit that we're dealing with right now is self-inflicted. It's so easy for a person to be a culture warrior, get to be a part of government, become a fucking millionaire in a couple of years. Not even that hard. But if you want to talk about some real shit, man, ain't nobody gonna listen. They can't afford to listen. Why? They too pre-poisoned by the other places where they spend their fucking time. Not being productive, deliberately not understanding how shit works, expecting that motherfuckers owe you some shit, even though you put in no fucking work. Again, this may seem like a negative based conversation. It's not. I'm just pointing shit out to you so that way you can fix this shit. And yes, believe it or not, I used to be just like this until I started putting my magical ass, dumbass thinking to the test by asking fucking questions and participating in the process and fucking losing. Once I got my understanding of how shit worked, the only thing I had to do was get my fucking shit together. Separate from these dumbass, ignorant ass, unproductive ass fucking men in society. Stay the fuck away from men whose actual idea of success is running through a whole bunch of uncultured fucking women. Get the fuck away from them niggas. What's going on, Rona? What's going on, Big J? Once I did that, my life fucking changed. Once I stopped fucking with the dregs of fucking black society, shit changed for me. Then I had to be smart enough to not hang around dumb niggas once I did get it together. You have to remove yourself from this shit. He's always gonna be running mad. He can't afford to debate. He can't afford to debate me. Nigga, I'm 7 figures. I got a fucking successful, thriving motherfucking business. Nigga, like, what the fuck do I need with a nigga talking about feminists? I love feminists. Wanna know why? Them bitches go get the women only based motherfucking contracts. So if you ain't friends with no motherfucking feminists, you ain't gonna get no fucking contracts. You ain't got to be trying to fuck no fucking feminists or trying to put babies in no fucking feminists. You dumbass nigga. They've already divorced themselves from that. They've already decided that their power is supreme. And they don't fucking need you. None of this shit's hard. None of it's hard. But if your ass ain't got no choice in women, and every fucking choice that you don't have is devastating to you, that's the problem. That's the fucking problem. These people want to be with the Queen Maker. These people want to be with Cynthia G. These people want to be with all these fucking swirlers and shit. That's why come they cover them all the time. Because not having open access to all women is damaging the dumb niggas. Dumb niggas whose DNA need to be on the shelf and it needs to fucking stay there. Listen, man, this shit ain't hard to fix, bro. There's a lot of work that's gonna need to be put in by singular individuals, and then those individuals are gonna have to create a new group. Okay, that's what's going to need to happen. All right, cool, man. You have a nice one, Big J. So for 10 years, it'll be 10 years next year. But let me show you what the fuck I've been doing since I've been in this space for 10 years. Right? I hated the city where I grew up at. Correct. I left my city, and I didn't go back till the 20th year reunion. So that was 2016 because I graduated in '96. I hated the fucking trajectory of these fucking kids. So you know what I did? I went to these women PhDs because those are the ones who teach at the fucking school, and I'm like, you know what? What's the percentage of these kids that actually fucking leave this area after they fucking graduate? It's a very low percentage. I mean, it was under 20%. I mean, it was under 20% because when you factor in the people who ain't never went nowhere when it came to sports, people who never went nowhere when it came to church groups, people who never went nowhere because most of their family was just stuck there in the Mississippi Delta and they never seen shit, so their mind couldn't grow to the proportions that it actually could. Yeah. So what we started doing is we slowly started getting people the fuck up out of there. And pretty soon that percentage went from less than 20 to now 80%. 80% of those people who graduate from fucking high school get the fuck out of that city. They go to Memphis, they go to Atlanta, they go to Dallas, they go to St. Louis, Chicago, they go to a lot of places. And we're not talking about because the education system in Mississippi is designed to make sure that you don't fucking go to college if you follow that particular program, right? But that has no excuse of parents not taking their kids to the library like white parents do in like middle class and upper class communities, correct? What you start doing is you start weaving into the actual conversation the shit that the coaches straight up told me. The coaches straight up told me, hey man, listen, no future for you in the NFL, no future for you anywhere. You got to get the fuck up out of the city. and we mean by graduation day. And that was a continued lesson that my grandfather gave me before he had died. That look, can't survive in this area. You got to go somewhere else. Don't get nobody pregnant. You'll find better people on the way. Don't let nobody tell you that you got to choose from this shit that's here. You don't. You'll find better people on the way. Because the military was like the only way to get out of Mississippi now. Now you can go do all types of shit now. You can go to Memphis. You can go get your forklift license. You can right now. You can go be a dental tech. Right now, you can go be an HVAC person. Right now, oh, we're talking about going from the south. No, 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 dude. This was high school. No, no, no. I was defensive back. Yeah, I was a DB, defensive back. I wasn't big enough to be no fucking safety, but I was a good defensive back though. But it didn't matter. I no future in that shit. I after that, man, I just started being a statistician, man. you know, marking them tackles on the fucking field and talking to the Clarion Ledger and giving them all the fucking information and shit. And like sometimes being hired to be a statistician for other teams and shit. I was doing all that shit when I was in high school, right? So, and I ran track, cross country track, because I wasn't really shit when it came to doing anything else. But like running through the woods for like almost 5 miles. I could do that. I wasn't very good at that either, but at least it kept me from being in the fucking community or whatever. But then again, man, hey man, the coaches kept it real, man. Hey, gotta leave, gotta leave. Told everybody, gotta leave. No, man, they just pull you to the side. You ain't got no future. 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 You gotta get the fuck up out of here. So you got the military or what? No, no, no. These dudes were trying to make sure you got the fuck up out of there. So I just pretty much did the same thing for the kids. Start this conversation early about them getting the fuck up out of there. Start the conversation early. So early you start the conversation about them getting the fuck out of those circumstances. Because the parents are not giving these kids this information. And that's the fucked up part about it. The parents ain't giving these kids this information because it is an indictment on how they fucking raised them if they would just give them all the information to succeed and they ain't successful themselves. That's a hard conversation to have with your fucking kid. Real hard. However, that's how I start fixing this shit for people in the goddamn place. Weaving that shit into the motherfucking curriculum. Getting them to think about it. Wasn't the only place. I'm an atheist. Hey, look, if you want to pass down good information, take your ass to church. Take your ass to church. They let you get up there and speak because they're always looking ways to expand to make their shit more legitimate. I couldn't wait to help those people down there. Make these people into better people. I'm like, look, man, you ain't got to feed off the broken soul of these dumbass niggas, right? What you can do is you can actually get these people to fuck up out of here. And because you gave them the information to be successful, you're going to be the man for a lifetime. Just getting these people to fuck up out of here. Now there used to be through people who, got out of prison and, got in trouble very early and shit. They used to be done through Job Corps. But now a certain president cut Job Corps out. So now that's just gonna hurt a whole bunch of people in correcting the actual situation. Right? This is what I mean by people think that certain people are being hurt by the loss of government services. No, a lot of people's gonna be hurt. I'll tell you right now. Walmart, Family Dollar, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, every fucking corner store. Oh yeah, these motherfuckers gonna be hurt. These motherfuckers gonna be hurt when that SNAP benefits get cut. That's coming right to their motherfucking pocket. Yeah, man, this phone's small as shit. I can't even fucking see shit. Let's see what the guy said. Yeah, tell you, man, getting them kids the fuck out of these situations is the best thing. Letting these kids know that being popular or being liked by goofy bitches, dude, you're not even gonna remember who the fuck these people are in 5 years. You might as well go get your shit together right now. Look, if you if your parents ain't beating on you and, and nothing that extreme crazy shit, hey man, just go to sleep there. Just go to sleep there. Get the fuck out of this situation. So that way you're not part of this assembly line of dumb niggas passing down dumb nigga behaviors. And what people don't understand is Walmart only put their fucking Walmart locations in food deserts. Walmart only put their locations in food deserts. Outside of the big cities, they only put their shit in food deserts. They get a bunch of money from the federal government to run a free fucking operation. And they still pay these motherfuckers less enough to where they actually depend on public fucking assistance. Even outside of getting shit like that. You don't get anything out of being ignorant, except for the motherfuckers who spread that deliberate type of ignorance. Those are the only people who win. You don't win shit out of not knowing how anything fucking works. You don't win nothing out of that. Then deliberately fucking ignorant and then expecting shit from people that don't fuck with you ever. Come on, man. Like, do some ignorant ass shit. But by all means, go listen to another BGS. Ask me anything, or else just go listen to another Thai City. World War Three and chill. By all means, take your dumb ass over there, man. Don't worry about it. So with that said, I want to thank you guys for coming through. If you live in an area that don't fucking work, that's a you problem, not a societal issue. That's a you problem. So with that said, you guys have a nice one. Please do better. You guys have a really nice day. Enjoy your Sunday. I'll be back tonight. I'm not sure what I'm gonna talk about tonight, but I'll talk about it tonight. You guys have a nice one.